Hello, I'm Evan Franca and this is my screencast for the video game Bioshock Infinite. During the video I'll be talking about the different factors that make up the game art style and how it makes a huge impact on the gameplay and overall feel. Now Bioshock Infinite was released in 2013 and created by Irrational Games. It's set in a fictional world that is literally a floating city in the sky called Columbia. It's set in the year of 1912 and you play as private detective Booker DeWitt. You quickly find out he's got drinking and gambling problems alongside some personal issues he's struggling to deal with. The people he owes money to aren't happy with him, but they offer him a solution by giving him the task of finding a girl called Elizabeth, then he must bring her to them and in return all his debts will be wiped. The game itself is set in a visually stunning environment that shows a perfect balance of early 20th century styles and futuristic steampunk technology. However, the player finds themselves in this immersive world in the sky, full of strange horrors, intense action, all in this overwhelming environment full of unique assets and art styles. Some of the main talking points throughout the screencast are going to be about the importance of atmosphere and sound design when covering art styles in the game. Styles help establish a specific feel or mood that's created with atmosphere, which in the game plays a huge part. So the first thing I want to talk about is sound design and how it makes such a big impact on the game. Throughout the gameplay you'll notice that the tempo of the game is mainly controlled by the soundtrack and background noises and of course the in-game action. For example, when you find yourself in a battle scene with plenty of enemies around, the music gets a lot louder and definitely more intense as it fully overpowers any background noises, making it all the player can hear. In the video about to play I want to show you how some sound in the game contrasts depending on what's happening on the screen. It starts off with slow ambient noises and quickly gets overtaken by background noises, which isn't something we normally see in first person shooters. Now from this, I figured out the types of sounds being made in action sequences was sculpted by the importance of a fight or enemy to the game itself. In the next video it shows a fight against a boss character called the Handyman. We can quickly see how much louder and faster paced the music gets alongside with background noises, so it's as intense as it gets music wise, never mind the physical combat.
Here! Ammo! You need this!
Much obliged.
Now what we saw in the first video is how the game still has a very intense and anxious feeling, even in parts with no fighting. And this is all about atmosphere. The eerie music we hear throughout helps create a lot of rising tension between the player and the game. It makes the gameplay feel like it's building up to something, such as repeating noises, echoing, voices and footsteps that add a great horror style to the game's theme. Sound helps bring the game to life in smaller detailing that you might not even notice. Such as emotion. During Bioshock we experienced many different appointed emotions, all coming down to the music playing and the content on screen. When Booker first sees Elizabeth, one of the first things a player will notice is how dramatically enhancing the music is to the situation and the mood it sets. It gives their relationship a lot more depth without you even having to know about the character yet. Emotions and sound also develop a better understanding of audio feedback. For example, the character would sound distressful if they were in pain or danger, and we see a lot of this throughout the game. Now moving on from sound design, I want to quickly talk on the art direction of the game. Bioshock has a truly breathtaking art style which establishes consistency throughout every aspect of the game. I feel that all areas of the game fit so well within the art style, mostly through the way objects, colours, environments are crafted in such a way for them to convey immersion. For example, the way Elizabeth is shown to have a necklace with a bird on it This tells us how important the theme of freedom is in her role. Also, the colour scheme of light blue and mainly white is a sign for her, and it creates a sense of purity, kindness and trust. Now, if we look at some enemy art, we can see how the concepts they were made to scare and shock the audience with bizarre steampunk-inspired monsters, and the same applies for environments, assets, characters and sounds throughout the game. To summarise, perhaps one of the most important parts of art style is to understand how important the surrounding settings are in terms of appearance and what they bring to the game. This is something I truly believe the creators of BioShock did. They captured this amazing new world of a very unique and fascinating art style, while being perfectly balanced between being a first-person shooter game and having one of the most critically acclaimed video game storylines and art styles ever. Thank you for listening. This is Evan Franco and this is my screencast on BioShock Infinite. Thank you for watching.